To the podium, Mr. Clay Hamilton, the class of 2014 valedictorian.
Family, friends, staff, faculty, administration, fellow graduates of the class of 2014. My name is Clay Hamilton, and I am honored to speak to you all this evening. Before I get started, on behalf of my classmates, I'd like to take a few moments to express my gratitude to those who have made this night and the past 4 years possible. First, to Mr. Kaiser, Dr. Owings, and the rest of the District 6 administration. Thank you for your constant dedication to making Dorman one of the finest high schools in the state of South Carolina. Being a Dorman student has always meant being offered incredible opportunities in the classroom, in athletics, in the arts, and in our community. And your unwavering support and love for students has made all this possible. To our teachers and staff, thank you for your commitment to education and our futures. The impact you have made on this class goes farther than you can imagine, and we are deeply indebted to you. And finally, to our families, thank you for guiding and shaping us from birth to be the people we are today. Tonight is just as much for you as it is for these graduates, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. There are a whole lot of things I can talk about right now. It's going to be really difficult to sum up 4 years of life into one speech, but I promise I'm going to do my best to keep this short, because I think I speak for the entire class of 2014 when I say we have been waiting on this night for a long, long time. Am I right? But when I first started thinking about what I could say to represent this class, I tried to find some kind of common ground, some sort of experience that we all shared during our time as high school students. I did a little bit of thinking, and I came up with the one thing that I'm 100% positive has touched all of our lives and deeply impacted this class, and I brought it with me this evening. This year's name tag policy. For those of you who aren't aware, this year, for the first time in Dorman history, every single student and teacher had to wear a name tag every time they were in the building. If they didn't have it on and they were caught, they were sent to the front desk to get a lovely little sticker. Guys of the class of 2014, if I could get a show of hands, who got busted at least once for forgetting to wear this thing? I think there's something wrong. Now, obviously the whole ID system here caused some frustration and annoyance, but it did serve an extremely important purpose. Every person with a name tag can be identified as a Dorman Cavalier, increasing our safety. It's right here. However, as useful as a name tag is, it's an inanimate object. It doesn't capture the true identity of Dorman High School. This brings me to the main question I have for you all tonight. What truly makes a Cavalier? What do we all share, regardless of race, religion, or income, that ties us together? Some might say it's our facilities, including the beautiful arena that we're in this evening. One can make an argument for Dorman's academic excellence, our sports teams, or our distinguished fine arts programs and clubs. Or maybe the quality of the teachers and administrators here defines this school. While these are all very important parts of Dorman High, I'd like to suggest that the spirit of the Cavalier, our identity, is determined neither by name tags or by the achievements I just spoke of, but by our character. This spring, I was fortunate enough to be a part of the Dorman varsity soccer team. Back in February, we went to a tournament up in Rock Hill to start off our season. This was my first year playing for varsity, and I was really nervous before our first game against Northwestern. I was warming up, I was running around, getting some touches on the ball, stretching, doing the deal. But in my head, I was thinking, shoot, if I make a mistake out there, I'm going to get my head taken off. I'm going to get pulled out of the game. It's going to be a terrible season for the rest of the year for me. And so my attitude that day was one of fear, one of nervousness, one of apprehension. And it probably would have stayed the same way for every game for the rest of the season, were it not for another guy on the team named Lewis. Lewis is a junior here at Dorman, and he served as the manager for our varsity squad. I didn't know him well. I'd only spoken to him a few times in the locker room beforehand. But one thing I noticed about Lewis was that everywhere he went, he had a huge smile on his face, and he was always trying to cheer somebody up. Toward the end of our warm-up that night, he came over to me and asked me if I was ready to play. I was mostly focused on trying not to throw up, so I said, yeah, Lewis, and just kind of blew him. But all of a sudden, he puts his arm around me, and tells me, hey, Clay, I believe in you. And then runs off to talk to somebody else. So at the time, I was really confused, and I didn't pay much attention. But as the season went on, before every single game we played, I heard Lewis telling me or somebody else on the team, "Hey man, I believe in you," or "I love you guys," or "Y'all are my brothers." And more than any game we played, any play I made, or any time coach's blood pressure hit unsafe levels, I'm going to remember the things Lewis said and the encouragement he gave us the most. Our soccer season, for all its achievements and successes, was made all the more meaningful by the brotherhood and support shown by my teammates. That was the glue that held us together, and that same spirit is what I believe ties this school together. In my time at Dorman, a class of remarkably talented people has surrounded me. Our class is made up of scholars, writers, mathematicians, athletes, musicians, artists, actors, and every other sort of person in between. However, our true identity lies not in our accomplishment, but in our character. As a member of this class, I found a wealth of people who supported one another and went out of the way to make a difference in the lives of others, through friendship, service, and love. When someone asks what makes a Cavalier, my response is that we put the needs of our fellow man before ourselves. If the spirit of Dorman lies in character above accomplishment, friendship above personal achievement, then the question remains, what does this mean going forward? The fact of the matter is, after we walk across this stage tonight, we are no longer Dorman students, no longer defined by this building, and we are leaving the relative safety of high school to shape our own identities in the real world. In an address at Harvard University, Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "Character is higher than intellect. Thinking is only a partial act. Let the grandeur of justice shine in your affairs. Let the beauty of affection cheer your lowly roof. Nothing can bring you peace but the triumph of principles." My challenge to you all tonight is the same as Emerson's. Whatever path you take, whether it's career, military, or college, remember your contribution here. Remember what it is to be a Cavalier, and carry that spirit with you into this next stage of life. I began this speech by thanking a group of people, and I'd like to end it the same way. Graduating class of 2014, thank you for being the wonderful group that you are. I look in front of me, and I see classmates, teammates, and most of all, friends. And I'll cherish the memories I've made here for a very long time. I'm extremely proud to be a member of this class, and I wish you all the very best as we move forward together into this next chapter of life. Thank you.
Clay, you rank number 1 out of a class of 765. That is an outstanding accomplishment, and at this time, on behalf of the Spartanburg County Foundation, I would like to present you with the Award of Excellence in Scholarship. Congratulations, Clay Hamilton. District 6 Board of Trustees, Dr. Owens, Dr. Gutshaw,